So I want to talk to you a little bit today about what the parent experience is going to be like for you over the next few days, and it's obviously going to be a varied experience because you guys are having different emotions just like your children are, but this is our favorite time of year. We've been like riding the roller coaster. We're now at the top. This is the moment that we've been waiting for. So these are some parents from last year. I took their picture because I thought they were so cute. So some of the goals of our time today is so you understand us a little bit, our philosophy and our services. I want you us to talk a little bit about the promises that we make to you, a little bit about what we expect from you as well, how you can engage during focus if you feel like you want to stay and be a part of it. And really, when we did our evaluations of parent orientation last year, we do a little search, and one of the most common words that comes up is that people leave feeling comfortable, like them, which is our goal. So we're going to play a little bit today. I know that this can be an overwhelming but really great experience. What I want to happen for you is I'll give you a story of what happened to me the other day. So I have a teenage boy, and he went through that like broop this summer. Did any of you experience that with your child all at one time? So we went to the doctor the other day for his physical before he went back to school, and the nurse measured him, put us in the room. We were sitting in the room. The doctor came in, looked at his chart, and the doctor said, I'm gonna have him step back out in the hallway for a little bit because the height doesn't look right. I don't think he could have grown this much in this short of time. So they walked back out in the hallway, and sure enough, he had grown that much in that short of time. He told me, Mommy, there's other things happening also that I don't want to talk about. That's what he told me. And I was like, good, because I don't want to talk to you about it anyway. So sounds like a good plan. But what I really thought about this summer is that the impossible happens. Your children develop at a rate that you can't even believe sometimes. And that's what I hear a ton when I hear from you guys this time next year. When you drop them off or when you send them by themselves, the two things I get the most are, hey, where are all those people who helped us move in last year? That's it's a one-time deal. It's a one-time deal. Yeah, that's the parents are always like just standing by their car, like, wait. No? No one's coming? And the other thing that I hear is, I cannot believe how much Stetson has helped them grow within 1 year. That it's shocking to me how their confidence has grown, or how their learning has grown, or all of those things. So those are two very exciting things for me to hear when you guys come back in a year. So don't be a stranger for that. So we're gonna walk through a few little videos and then talk a little bit about what some of you might be experiencing.
First day of school! Wake up, wake up! Come on, first day of school!
No, I don't want to go to school. 5 more minutes.
Not you, Dad, me!
Okay.
Get up,
Huh?
get up! Time for school, time for school, time for school, time for school!
All right, I'm up. It's time for school.
Whoa!
Nemo!
First day of school!
Nemo, don't move! Don't move! You'll never get out of there yourself. I'll do it. All right, where's the brake? You feel a brake? Sometimes you can't tell because fluid is rushing to the area. Now, any rushing fluids? Are you woozy? How many stripes do I have?
I'm fine.
Answer the stripe question.
3.
No! See, something's wrong with you. I have 1, 2, 3. That's all I have? Oh, you're okay. How's the lucky fin?
Lucky.
Let's see. Are you sure you want to go to school this year? Because there's no problem if you don't. You can wait 5 or 6 years.
Come on, Dad, it's time for school.
Forgot to brush.
Oh.
Do you want this anemone to sting you?
Yes.
Brush.
Okay, I'm done.
Up, you missed a spot.
Where?
There. Right there. And here.
Okay. Anyone woken up by their children this morning wanting to go? Any of you guys? Yeah. So some of you guys woke up your kid and told him to get out the door this morning. But the people who are in the front of the line, they're the ones I call the garage sale families. They think like if you get here early, like there's something better. Like if you don't, you're gonna miss the really awesome lamp or something. I don't know. But the garage sale families get here, I always check. The first one's usually around 7 o'clock for the doors that open at 8. Okay, so they're waiting. And what I love is every year I assume that their parents woke them up and made them get there, and it's not. There's a student standing in front of the doors like this. Hey, about to go to Stetson, about to go to college. And they like woke you up and you guys are like drinking coffee. And sometimes it's the other way as well. But some of the students are really super excited to be here, and we're really excited to have them. So let's watch one more.
I suffer from short-term memory loss.
Yes! That's exactly what you say.
Okay. We'll pretend to be the other kids now.
Hi, Dory.
Ahoy there! Do you want to play hide and seek?
Okay.
We'll hide, and you count and come find us.
Okay, Daddy.
No, not Daddy. I'm the nice fish who wants to be your friend. Okay?
Okay, Daddy.
No.
I'm hiding.
Now count to 10.
1, 2, 3, 4. I like sand. Sand is squishy. Mommy, can I go play with them?
Dory? Anyone have one of those kids? I have one of those kids. I have a kid who, like, I could drop in the wilderness right now and he would survive for the rest of his life and does not need humanity. And I have a kid who last week was calling me and he's like, I'm stuck inside my shirt. I was like, oh my God, you're in middle school. So real book smart. He's real book smart, that one. Just not so much on the other direction. So this is me, and these are all the areas that I supervise. So you talk to a lot of my folks during the time that you're here: the housing department, the community engagement office, the diversity and inclusion office, health services, where our clinic is on campus, counseling services, the academic success center, which if you haven't seen it, before you leave campus, go up to the second floor of the library and check it out. There's an open house for it, but just stop by there and see it. The career and professional development office, student development and campus vibrancy, which has clubs, organizations, leadership programs, Greek life. Community standards office, which is a nice way of saying, like, we have standards and rules that they have to follow, and when they don't, they get to go to the community standards office. And then the wellness and recreation area, where there's a gym and club sports, and students have started their own club sports, some of which are really, really popular. And basically, our whole belief in campus life and student success is that learning happens all the time. So if you've heard me speak before, you know that that's what we believe as a residential college, is that we don't just have you live in the residence halls for no reason. We do that because we believe in the power of residential education. There are very, very few places where 3,000 extremely diverse people will live and integrate in the same area for 4 years with each other. And you learn a lot from having a roommate or talking to someone whose opinions differ from you in the coffee shop at 2 o'clock in the morning, or studying with someone, a study group, or studying abroad with someone. And those type of things are great learning experiences for our students, and they happen sometimes outside of class as well. But all of these areas are there because we provide a lot of challenge. So you've heard a lot of people tell your students to be brave. We even tried to, like, sing a song to them this morning. Like, if they don't understand that there's some courage involved in this, we're like, we'll sing it. We'll put it on the screen. We'll just talk about it over and over again. And because of that bravery that we request, we also provide a lot of support for them. When I talk to them, I tell them these are free services. That means you already paid for them. So they should go ahead and take care of those because they are wrapped in with their tuition. So things like free counseling services or seeing a tutor for their classes or the writing center, sometimes they don't want to do that, and they'll call you and talk to them about it, and you tell them, like, so I already paid for that, and you should go to that because Dr. Hancock said, so that's fine with me. So these are the promises that we make to you, that I make to you as the leader of all of these staff on campus. The promise I make to you is that first, your student safety is my primary concern. So I'm sure it's also your primary concern, especially if you own a Dory like I do, but it's our primary concern as well. And we're going to talk about some ways that we try to ensure that safety. But one of the things that they can do is also help us with this, and we talk a lot about that. They need to be careful about who they open doors for. We are an open campus. We are safe or as unsafe as any other college campus. We're in DeLand, so there's that, which is good. But there are still times when we do want to make sure, if you get an alert, and I'm going to talk about how you can get alerts on your phone that says that we're concerned about someone potentially armed being on campus, that doesn't mean that someone came on campus, to shoot up students. And I know in today's day and age, I would be nervous about this too. What it usually means is somewhere in town there was an armed robbery and they don't know where the person is, so we're going to send out an alert that says, why don't you just stay where you are until we find them? Something like that. And it doesn't happen that often, but when it does happen, we take it extremely seriously. Your student safety and security are my primary concern, and we talk to them a lot about it. They love that, by the way. This week, they're going to have to watch this fire safety video. They have to watch a video about what happens if there's an active shooter. But all of those things have been proven on other campuses, that if students feel like they know what to do in situations, then they will control their own safety. I do feel like this is a very safe campus, but we do have a safe ride and safe walk programs if that's something that students want. Also, we will support your student. I promise you that. If you have a student who's really nervous to ask for help, I would encourage them while you're here to try to do that as much as possible. Even during some of these open houses, walk around and introduce them to people. While you're here with them, have them set up their first counseling appointment or their first academic success coaching appointment while you're here, because that'll just open the door, and then from there, we've got it. But supporting your student is important to us. Also, I promise you that we will challenge your student. So there are times when they might call you feeling challenged academically or otherwise. For example, I will have at least one person come to me tonight and be like, I hate my roommate. I cannot live with them. That's it. It's not going to work. Move me now, or I will just go home. I'm calling my parents right now. They're going to come get me. Are you going to move me? I'm calling my parents. This is how they talk to me. My parents will come and get me right now. I'm like, okay. So we talk about it. Turns out, how many of your sons and daughters right now, before today, are sharing a room with someone else? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're under 10 people. We are under 10. There are 1,000 people who came on campus today. We are under 10. So this is new for them for the most part, and some of it is just about change. So what we found is if we tell them, hey, just pause where you are for a second. Let us figure out how we can get you guys talking to each other. And then over time, if we need to, we'll make a move. What we find is by the time we go visit them 3 or 4 days from now, they're like, fine. It's just the transition is a little challenging, but some of them don't like that because they want me to move them right now. And if there's some large issue where we feel like it's necessary, we will work it out. But most of the time, we're going to challenge them. Also, if they come to me with their phone and they show me the text messages between them and their roommate who are having an argument, I will force their face and their roommate's face to speak to each other face to face and not in text. And sometimes they're like, we talked to each other already. It's obviously not going to work out. Do you want me to print it for you? I'm like, no, I don't want you to print it for me. No, we're going to sit down. We're going to talk about this. Because all of that, I feel like it's my responsibility to prepare them for the real world. If they have a coworker they don't like or they share a cubicle with and they go to their boss and are like, they're not going to work there anymore. So we got to talk about this now because I want you to be fully ready to not go live on your couch. That's my goal, people. I don't want them on your couch. You're welcome. So what the market is looking for is people who can solve problems, who can communicate, who can fix things. That's what they're looking for. And so a lot of that we're going to push your student to do. And we'll help them write their own story. That's why you chose Stetson. So you want the ability for them to pick classes that are creative and come up with creative things that they want to do so that they can graduate and tell their story well to the market, to a grad school or to an employer who will hire them. So last year's graduating class, 6 months after graduation, 91% of them were employed or going to graduate school at a place of their choice. Yeah. And thank you. We work hard at that. We work very hard at that because we want to make sure that they're taking that next step. That is our responsibility to figure out what that is with them. Where they can help us is the more work they do up front. So obviously, like 1 week before graduation, I always have a student who comes in and is like, I need a job. And I'm like, oh, hold on, let me get my secret job file. No, I don't have one. Did you do an internship? No. Did you see all the communication about internships and how they're super cheap for the summer? No. Did you do a job shadow? Nope. Did you go to see a career counselor ever? Nope. Have you ever worked on your resume? No. Do you have a LinkedIn? What's that? I'm like, no. So what they can do is continue to work with us. When they see those things, they should go to them so that what I love to happen instead is the same thing that happens. I have a student come and see me a semester before graduation. That happened this year. And a student who graduated with an accounting degree told me, I have too many job offers, I don't know what to do. This was December. And I said, tell me more about it. And they said, well, I'm going to go to get my master's in accountancy. So after I graduate from here, I'm going to have a 1-year graduate program. But the person I did an internship with last year has already offered for me to work there when I graduate. But I don't know if I should take it because I kind of also want to see what I feel after graduate school. What do you think I should do? That's the kind of conversation I want to be having. These are the problems we want to be having, people. That I can work with. Let's work it out. So that's our goal as well. We will also treat your student like a growing adult. So I don't put a child, but I also don't put a full-out adult because they are a growing adult. We do treat them like a growing adult. So that means that I don't walk around the residence halls at night and make sure that everyone's in their own room, in their own beds with all the lights off, and I don't do that. So I hope you raised them right because They're about to leave them here. They're going to be fine. So I treat them like an adult. But what I tell a few of them, which they find shocking, is that it's actually illegal to drink alcohol under the age of 21 in the state of Florida. So that's not me just being like mean. That's actually the law. So it's in between those two things. We do want to give them some space to make choices and to make good choices, or to fail and to learn from those failures. I don't want to give them so much space that those failures affect anything in the rest of their life, safety-wise or job-wise or otherwise. That's not our goal. But we definitely want to give them some space and treat them like a growing adult. That means I won't pick their classes for them. And neither, by the way, will you. Please don't pick their classes for them. You'll talk to them about it. You'll figure it out. And they'll tell me, like, just make the choice. Just pick them. Like, no, I don't know you. Why would I pick your classes? So we're going to try to treat them like a growing adult. Before you leave, here's some suggestions I would make for you. Determine the frequency and expectation of your communication. Jointly determine this. Don't just tell them, unless you want to. I mean, there are some parents who are like, so I'm paying for this, so this is how often we're talking. And we will talk for this long on these days, and I will call you at that time. This generation of students text or speak to their parents on average of 3.8 times a day. That is significantly different from when I went to college. I've told you some of this at the open house, is that right when you used to have to like save rolls of quarters because you had to like call on the payphone. Yeah, so that's what I experienced. So Sunday night at 8 o'clock was when we talked because we wanted to make sure we were both home because that was an actual thing. Now, that's not a thing. So they'll be like, oh my God, going into a test, smiley face, eek, talk to you later, send. And they go take their test. They come out there like, I totally failed it, which means they made a B-, by the way. I totally failed it. Crying face, send. And then they're like, are they really crying? I can't tell. Are you okay? Unicorn. I think I'm going to be fine. Poo. This is what my son always sends me. Poo. I'm like, why? Why send me the poo emoji? So there's a lot of different expectations that people have about communication, but you need to tell them, and that's okay. It's okay to tell them that if they're struggling, you expect them to tell you so that they can help you. That if they get back a bad grade, that you expect them to communicate that with you. That there are some things you want to know about what's happening. But you guys should determine that with each other so that neither of you feels like, oh, I don't want to be the one who does like the first text after I leave because that would be awkward. Like, you're not just dating. Like, you've known each other for 18 years. So figure out a plan. Work it out. I would also finalize the next time you're going to see each other, if it's, after tomorrow or whatever. So 2 years ago, a student and a parent came up to me at a football game, and the mom was like in tears. It was the first football game of the season. And she's like, we bought him a ticket, and we surprised him, and we showed up for the game. And like, he had a ticket and was with his friends on the other side of the stadium. Awkward moment. So they had not like made a plan for it. And she's like, we thought we'd take him out to dinner after. And he was like, oh my God. So just make a plan. And the reason why I say this also is because if the plan is that you live very close and you don't want them to come home for a few weeks because you want them to start to get to know people here, then tell them that's the plan. Not in a rough way, but just like, hey, this is our expectation. Here's where we're going to see each other again. And some of you are international parents, so you're crying right now because you're like, must be nice. If you agreed with your student to get their roommate's contact information, which is okay, sometimes you're like, I'd like your roommate and their parents' contact information in case anything happens, but you should like agree what that's for. That's not for like, hey, don't tell him that I'm texting you, but how's he doing? Like, don't do that. All these examples I give you are real. This is my job. Also the same thing with their PIN. So they have a My Stetson account, and a lot of you guys decide that you want their PIN because you want to be able to go in and see their bill and their grades or whatever. That's fine too. Just all make the agreement before you leave. Be like, I want your PIN because I want to see what's in there and that kind of thing. Because if you call me and you ask for their PIN, I'm not going to give it to you. And if you call me and say, could I just tell you all these things I'm worried about, and then I want you to check on my child, but I don't want them to know that I asked you to check on them. Like, okay, there's 3,000 students. I'm just randomly going to be like, hey, I don't know why, but I just thought I'd see how you're doing. They think that's weird. So I don't mind you calling me in a week and saying, I'm really concerned. Can we have a phone call together with my kid there? Yes, absolutely. But don't be weird about it. Like, we'll just work it out. All these things happen. And then I would begin to talk to them about what they would do if there was a campus emergency. If there was a hurricane or if there's an emergency, do you expect them to call you? We do have an emergency app on the phone. If you just Google Stetson emergency, you'll see there's 2 Stetson apps. One is a Stetson app that just has like maps and the directory and that type of thing. And the other Stetson app is called App Armor. It's a Stetson app that is like a mobile blue light. The students will all be told during orientation to put it on their phone so they can hit it, mobile blue light. There's a mobile walk on it to where they can, tell someone that they're walking on campus. A lot of emergency contact information. Why I would encourage you all to download it is if we send out any emergency alert to campus, it also goes out through the app. So it's up to you if you want to be woken up in the middle of the night if something happens, but a lot of parents would like to know that. So if you just download the app, it will alert you if we send anything out to the students who are here on campus. I also would get connected with the Academic Success Center for academic support, whether they think they know it or not. Last year, 2,000 of our 3,000 students sought support in the Academic Success Center, so it's not just for the students who are struggling. Writing Center, success coaches, they have time management coaches there, they have study skills coaches, reading coaches, and tutors in all different areas from economics to math to anything you can think of, and the latest technology. So it's really great. Again, I feel really old when I go there because we didn't have anything like that. The tutoring center, when they write the tutoring notes on the board, the student just scans the QR code from the board and it keeps all the notes within their phone from the tutoring appointment and they can scan through them. So they should absolutely be using these services. One thing that we find is when we look at some courses where we've embedded tutors in those courses, like Biology 1 or Chemistry 1, which can be challenging for students. Students who come in with the lowest SAT scores, who attend between 1 and 10 of those tutoring sessions, perform exactly the same at the end of the year as students who came in with the highest SAT scores. And I show that data to students because they can control their own destiny if they utilize support services here. It does change their grade. So will they have to work harder? Maybe. And what I tell them is, my husband can eat pizza and never gain a pound, and I go to the gym every day. So that's life. It just happens like that sometimes. But I would encourage them to use those services, especially if you have a student who in the past has had any kind of accommodation for a disability at all. You should sign them up for the accommodation while you're here. If they don't use it, that's fine, but I would hate to get close to finals and they decide that they want a private testing environment or extra time and they don't have it. Let's just do it and have it on record while you're here. Also, get connected with the counseling center. You know your students better than I do at this point. So if you feel like this might be a benefit to them during the open counseling center hours, which are in your orientation packet, just walk them over there. Just walk them over there and say that it's your expectation that they use that area. The same thing with the Cross-Cultural Center and the Multicultural Student Council. A lot of you are people of faith, and you have an expectation maybe that your students would like to get connected in that way, or a different ethnic organization you'd like them to get connected with. They have some really great services. They have an open house this afternoon. We purposely do it on this afternoon when you're still here, because if you want to walk them over and get them hooked up with the student who was saying that he's part of Unidos, club, or there's an African Student Association, there's a Black Student Association, there's Hillel, the Jewish Student Organization, there's a Catholic Ministries, there's a Muslim Student Association, there's all kind of students who they could connect with, and they can meet someone who they can carpool with to a mosque, or there's just lots of, now we'll have different things after you leave for them as well, but we purposely do one while you're here in case that's important to you and you want to connect them. I would also finalize your financial plan. What are they allowed to spend or not spend on the card or things that they have? If they get a refund check, for example, can they buy their own motorcycle? I don't know that any of you would approve that, but a student was trying to convince me last year that his parents did. So I was like, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you that you have to call your parents, but they're going to see it at some point. Can't keep a motorcycle a secret. So you just want to finalize the financial plan. What is kind of your expectation of how much they spend or don't spend, that type of thing. And if you have questions or want to know more about what you think an actual good budget is to give them, we're happy to talk to you. And then I would plan to come see us again. Friends and Family Weekend is September 23rd through the 25th. It's not that far away. Lots of fun stuff. It's on our website, has the schedule. So come then, tell them that you're coming then, wear the Friends and Family t-shirt, and do the whole thing. The other thing you can do before you leave is that you can get access to your Fifth Bank card. This is an optional thing that's attached to their card, and it's for a bank account. What I would encourage you to do if you decide to go with that bank, which is easy because it's the ATM machines here on campus and everything are all through Fifth Third, is that they have to sign a piece of paperwork at the bank as well. But I would just make sure that you talk to the Fifth Third people. They were at tables this morning. They're at tables again this afternoon by the union. They're a great partnership with us, so please utilize that if you'd like to. Tonight is a parents' reception. There is wine there, just saying. You're welcome. Last year I was like, where is the alcohol at this reception? Like, not trying to be dramatic, but these people have had a long day. So it's nice. There's some piano music, there's some wine, a bunch of my staff is there, the academic deans are there if you want to meet them. It's just a little moment to get away. So if you want to, you're all members of the Stetson Parent Association. You're all welcome to attend that as well. I'll be there if you have any other questions. So Parent College starts tomorrow, and Parent College is a full day where you get shoved in all the information your students are going to get over the next 5 days. Parents have really appreciated this who have stayed for it because you'll get more information. You'll get a full hour about academic success and what tutoring looks like, what you should be asking your students. You'll get a safety presentation. You'll get a presentation with me called Involved, Intrusive, or All Up in Your Business, and we're going to talk a little bit about like how involved is good and like where the line is and like when you've crossed it, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to be involved without being too involved, so that'll be a good conversation. And then you get a chance to talk with our career team. They'll share with you some of the career goals and what you can do as a parent to assist them as a career coach. They'll give you some advice there. And you'll kind of understand all of our resources and expectations around health and safety. You are one of my biggest assistants because if they are not doing well here or they're struggling or they don't like it and they call you and you know our services, it helps me. If you connect them back with anyone on my staff, including me, and say, hey, before we make any decisions or it seems like you're struggling, let's just get on the phone with you and someone in your office on the phone. Now, there is a law called FERPA, and what that law means is that if your child is over 18 years old, they are legally considered an adult. Even if you're like, yeah, no, because I pay their bills. So they are not legally an adult. Federally, they are legally an adult. So if you call me next week and you say, I just want to know how they're doing and I know them, I can't tell you anything unless they've signed a waiver. Normally when I say that, half the parents are like, all right, where's the damn waiver? Bring them out. Let's sign them up. You can sign the waiver. It's online. You can feel free to sign the waiver. If I don't have it, usually if something happens and I don't have it, you call me, I say I don't have it, you're like, hold on one second, you call them, you're like, they don't have it, sign it. Then they sign it, then we have it. So it works very quickly. But what I would encourage you to do though, if you hit any struggles, is to ask them to speak to one of my staff members, a success coach, myself, a disability coach, a counselor, and ask if there's any way that you can have us call you in on the phone. That's fine. And I don't need a release to do that, and let's just all get on the same page at the same time. I would not do that with one of their faculty members right away, like just give them some space. But with my staff, you can totally do that if you want to do that. So you will leave that. They're able to share important dates and services. You'll be able to kind of see what are healthy and supportive levels for you. And you'll get your PhD, which is an actual little diploma. It's a little like parent and hatter diploma. Like, the parents always like it. We play the graduation music and everything, like shake hands, and I wear my regalia. You should do it. I'll see you tomorrow. You can follow us on social media there, and you can take your phones out. I'm used to it. I work with 18-year-olds, so feel free to take your phone out. There is a Stetson Parents Facebook page. If you follow that Facebook page, that is me. I'm the one who updates it, and if you message that Facebook page needing anything, I'm the one who answers it. So feel free to use that as a resource for you anytime that you want. If I don't know the answer, I will find out the answer for you. But on that Facebook page, I'll post things like reminders about registration coming up, or reminders about financial aid deadlines, or like just a really cool story about what's happening with our students. So sign up for Stetson Parents Facebook if you get a chance. There's a lot of other Facebook pages on this website, Stay Connected. You'll see lots of other Facebook pages for different parts of the university. And then also the Stetson app. I would encourage you to download that Stetson app as well. Those are the easiest ways, it is 2016, to stay in touch with us, is via social media. What I tell the students when they get here is that everyone can find a place to fit in. And so what you'll notice is if any of you have a very introverted person, the schedule sometimes can seem a little overwhelming to them because at night there's like big hypnotist or a big pool party or whatever. So at the same time, there is also a smaller event, like a poetry night or a coffee house night or whatever. And we do that on purpose because some people just don't love those big things. And some of them do, and some of them love them too much. And I can tell already who the student leaders or loud ones are going to be within like the first 2 days because I'm like, future orientation leader, future orientation leader. But we do that on purpose in case they need anything from that. So that's there for them. And then we'll show one last clip.
Curl away, my son. Oh, it's awesome, Jelly Man. The little dudes are just eggs. We leave them on a beach to hatch, and then coo-coo-ca-choo, they find their way back to the big old blue.
All by themselves?
Sure.
But dude, how do you know when they're ready?
Well, you never really know, but when they know, you'll know, you know? Oh.
So when they know, you'll know, you know? I was dropped off at college on my 18th birthday, and I was like, no, it's fine. You should leave. And my parents left, and I sat in my room and cried for like hours. And then my RA came and knocked on my door and had a cupcake, it's a true story, and was like, I heard that it was your birthday. And I was like, oh, thanks, that's so nice. She's like, are you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And then she closed the door, and I was like, oh my God, somebody knew it was my birthday. I'm so happy here. So it was totally fine. So we set up these few days so that their orientation leader can kind of ease them into this experience. We purposely do have classes during orientation, which doesn't happen at almost any school. And the reason we do that is because they have to get used to balancing academics, which you'll see in their schedule, homework time, which you'll see in their schedule, and social time, which you'll see in their schedule. And so this is kind of like the easy training ground for that to happen. Some of them will get homework this week. Most of it is not graded, and sometimes it's graded very challenging, but then they'll say you completely have a chance to redo it. It's supposed to show them how do you balance an actual life in a few weeks when 4 classes start. The other reason we do that is so that that class ends at Thanksgiving break so that they can then have the rest of the time here just for finals in their other courses. So that's set up that way for first years on purpose. That person is also set up and trained to be their mentor, especially so that faculty member will meet with them separately, will take extra time with them. I don't know if you had a chance to look at the first year seminar courses. Do you guys look at them when you're picking? There's like 50 of them. I was like, I want to take them all. They all look so fun. So this faculty love teaching them because they get to choose something that they really think is really fun to teach. So they will hopefully really enjoy that experience. If they are having an issue with their first year seminar, then go speak to their faculty member and we'll work it out. So what you probably can already pick up, because you're very smart, is that there's lots of challenge and there's lots of support for them here. And that would be kind of our experience with them. So we have plenty of time. I always like to leave this time for questions. If you have a question about your own individual child, this might not be the space. You can like come up to me afterwards, or I'll leave a question box with some cards if you don't want to ask it publicly. If you ask a question on the card and leave it in the box, we'll make sure it gets answered tomorrow at Parent College for everybody, but I wanted to leave some time in case about this week or about their entire semester. We're here. This is like Vegas. What happens here stays here. So you can ask whatever you want, and I'm not gonna, tell your child that I heard from you. They're like, oh, David? Yeah, your mom. She asked this. No, I'm not gonna do that. So there's a mic there, and I think there's also one right there. So if anybody wants to ask any questions, you can head to the mic.
Could you just mention the safety app?
Yeah.
Stetson.
It should be if you put Stetson safety into the Google thing, it should come up. It's called App Armor, but it's specific for Stetson.
Okay. That was the one that did not come up. Thank you.
Stetson Safety. Is that what it's called? Okay. Click on that. That's there. Sometimes students will ask with that app, there's a thing that they can click that says, like, watch me while I walk. We're not watching them, but they could say to you, like, hey, I'm going to walk across campus, and you can watch them. That's fine if you want to do that. I joke that like some parents and students really like that kind of stuff. I have a child who, did any of your children have that app Class Dojo? So there's this app called Class Dojo. My child has it. And anytime he does anything in class, he's in elementary school, it tells me, like, your kid raised his hand, bing. I'm like, ooh, that's a lot of information. So glad that so by the time I get home, I don't even have to be like, how's your day? I can be like, oh, I know how your day is right here. 3 sad faces, 2 smiley faces, unicorn. It's just like text, but so I know you're used to a lot of feedback. Another thing I will mention is I get a lot of parents who ask, will all of their grades and all of their information be in Blackboard, which is like our system for grades. Faculty are not required to use it. It is an optional tool. So if you have access to get into their My Stetson account, you will see some of the courses in Blackboard with some of the information. You might not see all of them. So if you're used to seeing all their grades, what homework they're missing or whatever, some of it will be in there, but it's not required for faculty to use it, so some of it will not be in there. Other questions?
Most of the parents, probably the kids know this, but my child wasn't sure. So the ID card that they have, that is for their meal plan and all of that stuff, and whatever we did with the meal plan, the extra money is on that, and that's used here at school, or it can be used at other locations off the school campus?
It's used predominantly here at school. It can also be used Domino's, where's the student leader? They're all with your kids, so they know this better than I do. There is, and they'll get this information, there is a pizza location where they can also use some of their money, but most of it is for here on campus in our dining facilities, yes. If you have money on the other chip of their card, which is the bank chip of their card, they can also use it in like the vending machines and whatever, but if not, those are like really cash operations, so they can only use it in the vending machines if they have that. But that card is everything. That's like scan to get into the gym, scan to get into some of the buildings, their meal plan is on it, everything is on that one card.
So the Hatter bucks that are on there can be used, and if you don't add anything to it, it's...
The Hatterbucks on there can be used, and they can be used outside of meal times, so you could use them like at the coffee shop. If you had already eaten your breakfast, you can use them again at the coffee shop, or you can get an extra milkshake with your hamburger. Yeah, so they're all on there. The Hatterbucks are extra.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
You had mentioned something about the Fifth Bank and that the kids needed to sign something at the bank.
Are they here? Yeah. Can we get him the mic, Matt? Here we go. Look at that. There he is. Somebody who works for Fifth Third.
Okay, so we were on campus today. If you've already signed up and signed the signature cards, you're good to go. We'll load everything back at the bank, and we'll contact you to let you know that the accounts are up and running and let you know that they are now available for a deposit. We will be again on campus tomorrow from about 9:30 through 2 p.m. And then, of course, Monday through Wednesday, I will be on campus in front of the Cub for the next few days as well for anybody who else will be around. But no, you don't necessarily have to go to the bank to sign the paperwork, but you will eventually have to go into a Fifth Third bank to make an opening deposit.
So while you're here, if you're setting up an account, get it all done if you can at one time.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep. Do you have a mic?
Yes, I do.
Hi, how are you?
A little tired.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
It's about the same thing, the Fifth Bank. I wanted to know, is the card only for on the school grounds, like if someone wants to send from New York to send onto the card, because the bank is not in New York. I don't believe that particular bank is in New York.
And it's not. So if they have a free student checking account with our bank, you can transfer funds into their account, which they can then manage here. They can transfer funds from the checking account to their student Hatter ID card and use that anywhere MasterCard is accepted, including the ATM on campus, so that you're not incurring additional surcharges to pull money out every time you try and access cash. So if you're outside of the footprint, you can still make deposits either mobily by taking a picture of a check to the student's account. Mm-hmm. That'll post overnight and into the account, and they can withdraw cash right here on the premise without a service charge.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Could you put your Facebook site up again on the screen so I can take a picture of it?
Yep.
Please?
So we'll back up to the App Armor site. Well, this is one, if you want to get this. If you go to Stay Connected, that's there. On Facebook, if you search Stetson Parents, that's me. And in the next few days, one reason why you'll want to get on Stetson Parents, right after this, our first tradition happens, which is that they take a huge class photo, and we actually take it from up in the sky, and we take a picture of them, and they're in the shape of 2020, because that's when they're graduating. Yeah. So, and then transfer students take a transfer photo, and we will post a video and those photos on Facebook so that you guys can tag them. They'll have to tell you where they are, but you'll see them out here. And we let you guys out in plenty of time because it's fun to like watch them gather and get all in line and then take the photo. And then, so this, and then can you also go back to the screenshot of the app armor that you took for us? So this is one. We're on Twitter as well. And then there's also the Stetson safety. When you look up for Stetson safety, it looks like this. So this is the other one, if you want to take a picture of it. So this is where my son's trying to convince me that he should bring his phone to school because he could just take pictures of the stuff that's on the, yeah. So we're having this argument because my son, who can't get out of his own shirt, wants to take a phone to school, and I just don't think that he's ready for that. So I was like, no. So he said, but mommy, when they put the homework on the board, everyone else takes a picture of it. I'm like, awesome, here's an extra pencil. You should write it down. So we're not there yet. But this is the safety feed. And see where it says like Stetson news feed, or like you'll just see different things across the top. If there is an alert, it will come on there. If you set your settings for it to make an actual noise and alert you, it will alert you. One thing we like about this app is if students are anywhere and they see something that they're concerned about, they just push report a tip and they can report a tip. They can also click on chat and it will chat live with someone who's sitting in the public safety dispatch office. So this is a way, if they hit the blue light phone, it says mobile blue light, and they're not on Stetson's property, it will call 911 because the blue light phone only works while they're here. If they hit the blue light phone, so we have blue lights all over campus, and years ago people put those in so they're safety lights, but now you don't even need to be near one. You just hit that from your cell phone and it'll send it to the, yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wondered where and when a student would sign up for a work-study job.
So there is a work-study fair. This is always good because it's like a test of how much I know. There's a work-study fair. Wow, give that guy a shirt. September 7th, there's a work-study fair. They can request to sign up for one before there. There's a student employment office, and we are right now going to be moving within the next few weeks everything from the one stop into the, but there won't be any messed up service. One day they'll be in the current Griffith Hall where they were, and the next day they'll be in the big glass building that you've seen on campus. But September 7th, there'll be a work-study fair. Before then, they can go see the work-study coordinator and request a work-study assignment if they want to. So if that's part of their package or if that's something that they'd like on campus, it is a great way to work because we are a little more flexible. Like I have work studies in my office if it's finals week, and I understand if they need to, do something else. There are some of our students who work here locally in DeLand, but if they have a work-study assignment, the fair is on September 7th where they can walk around and meet all the jobs, or if they want to get set up before then, they just go see the person who organizes work-study. Her name is Nora, and her last name is Huth, H-U-T-H.
Yes, if they have their own credit cards, they don't have to get that other, they could just use their regular debit card or...
Yeah, you can use whatever bank or credit card that you want. This is just our preferred company, and they do have ATMs here on campus, so then you don't have a fee. But yeah, they can use whatever banking you need them to use, sure.
A lot of my family, as well as I, would like to know, where can we mail care packages for the kids?
So my address, no, I'm just kidding. I am vegan, but I like vegan cookies. There's lots of them out there these days. You can mail them to the post office here, to their mailbox. And if they did not get that information today, they should have gotten that information today. Yeah?
She got her folder, but I didn't see anything in it.
Yes? I love how you can answer each other's questions. Thank you. So there's a combination mailbox that they all have. And so if the mail room is already closed today, it'll be open. So you can just get them to get that card. The address on the card is the same for each one of them. So even if you don't have their box number, go ahead and take the address. We're not that big. If you have their name on it, it will get to them at the general address, but they will get their own box number as well. And then they have a combination lock with the boxes. I'm pretty sure the address is the same on all the cards. Oh, and I can get into her lock. Look at this. You should mail her something nice. 421 North Woodland is the address for everyone. 421 North Woodland Boulevard, DeLand, 32723. And then they will have a box number. So that's 421 North Woodland, DeLand, Florida, 32723. They each will have their own individual box number. But I know because some of you even mailed boxes before they got here and they got them. If you don't have the box number and you want to go ahead and mail something, that's fine as well.
Is there an additional cost to this?
No. Yeah, it's free. She was listening. No additional cost, sir. That's free. You're welcome. Thank you. There's also water in the lobby. Help yourself. No. Yes, there's no additional cost for the mailbox. There is wine tonight, too, and that's also free.
When do the kids get to sign up for clubs? Is there a fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So there's a couple different things. One thing is this Tuesday. This Tuesday, they'll have a presentation in this building right here about global citizenship, and then there'll be a fair right after that, which are mostly things like cultural and religious clubs and orgs. And then next week, Saturday, a week from today, there is a humongous club and organization fair here, and there's anything you could think of, and some things you couldn't even think of. So how many are we up to now, Club and Orgs wise? 140. So yes, and we do that like the week after because the returning students aren't here yet. They come back for classes and stuff, and then they can set up all their own tables, and they can come and sign up for all the different clubs and orgs. If your child does sports, but they're not at the level where they're a student athlete or they haven't done student athletics, we have a lot of club sports, which is kind of the level right below that. Very competitive, good club sports, including things like equestrian and shooting club, soccer, and volleyball, and everything else. And then we also have intramurals, which are just like they'll have a team and they get together and play intramural. So we have all different kind of sport organizations as well. Lots of clubs there. Everything from the Beekeepers Club to just everything. There's everything that you can think of. And lots of professional organizations. So that's where they would also sign up for things like the pre-law club, the pre-business fraternity. Some great, if they're one day hoping to go to law school, that pre-law club gets a discount on the LSAT, so they'll get to meet them, get involved with that. So there's academic, social, religious, spiritual, all kind of organizations there.
Hi. I have a junior and a freshman here, and there is a debate in our household about when the dorms close at the end of the semester and they go home for Christmas. Do they close? Do you have to be out of the dorm 24 hours after your last final ends, or do they close Saturday by noon?
Why don't we just bring them both up here? As a mother of 2 children, just let them go at it. And whichever one wins, I'll just change it to that.
I ask because we live in Oregon,
Yeah.
and if we can fly them
You
home
need to
together,
book a
and
flight.
they don't have a car here. and
Yes.
so
No, you can
getting
fly them home together.
We want them to be able to use the shuttle, but one
Yep.
of them says no. The older one, who will likely be finished with his exams first, is like, we have to be out of the dorm 24 hours after our last final. I'm like,
Right.
I think that sounds like your RA maybe wanting to go home, and, but I don't know.
We'll find out the answer as soon as one of my staff members here call Res Life. Yes? Someone? Kristen? They're on it. I'll find out before the end of the question session. I promise you.
I think they have one up front, and then it'll be your turn.
How about the medical clinic? Could you tell us a little bit about that? You know, the
Sure.
hours of operation and how that works?
Yeah. Hours of operation are mostly daytime hours. It's not like a nighttime or an urgent care kind of clinic. But they do everything from like women's wellness checkups to cold, flu. You know, sometimes because there are a lot of residence halls, there is a bug that goes around, you know, so maybe a stomach bug or something like that. They do also have over-counter medications for sale there. They also do have some things that they can do prescription as a pharmacy there. So for almost everything that's not an emergency, I would utilize them first. They do take insurance just like any other exterior clinic. You can make an appointment. They do